Three major ligaments of the spine allow flexion and extension of the spine while keeping the bones aligned: the ligamentum flavum, anterior longitudinal ligament, and the posterior longitudinal ligament. The anterior and posterior longitudinal ligaments are continuous bands that run from the top to the bottom of the vertebral column and prevent excess movement. The ligament flavum attaches between lamina of each vertebra. Some additional ligaments I'd like to point out are the intertransverse ligament, the supraspinous ligament, and the interspinous ligament. The intertransverse ligaments stretch between the transverse processes of the spine. The supraspinous ligament is found along the vertebral column, connecting the tips of the spinous processes from the cervical vertebra to the sacrum. At the seventh vertebra, the supraspinous ligament is continuous with the nuchal ligament, which runs from the seventh vertebra to the external occipital protuberance of the skull. The interspinous ligaments are thin, membranous ligaments which stretch between adjacent spinous processes. Finally, I'd like to briefly discuss the spinal cord, which is floating in cerebrospinal fluid within the dural tube, which is inside the vertebral arch. The spinal cord is about the thickness of your thumb. At around 18 inches long, it runs from the brainstem to the first or second lumbar vertebra within the spinal canal, ending in the conus medullaris. Extending from the conus medullaris is the cauda equina, Latin for horsetail because it is a bunch of spinal nerves that very much look like a tail. The cauda equina occupies the lumbar cistern, a space beneath the conus medullaris. The filum terminale extends from the end of the spinal cord and anchors it to the tailbone. 31 pairs of spinal nerves branch off from the spinal cord. Each spinal nerve has two roots, one ventral for motor impulses from the brain, and one dorsal for sensory impulses to the brain. Ventral and dorsal roots fuse to form the spinal nerve, which exits the vertebral column via the intervertebral foramen between the vertebrae. If you liked this video, like and subscribe. You can also support me by following the link to my Patreon. If you have any topics you'd like me to cover, please leave a comment.